Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to be starting a new Omniscience draft here. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar, Omniscience draft is a limited time format on Arena. Basically, you don't pay mana cost for anything that is in your hand. You get 5 mana, one of each color per turn to pay for mana cost abilities, and you only start with a 3-card hand. So basically, I've did a little theory crafting on this before I started playing it, and basically the things you're looking for are card advantage, engines. You're not paying for anything, so all those big dumb 6 mana 6/6 type creatures, which are normally just awful and limited, are kind of perfectly acceptable. And also, there's some kind of weird interactions because this is Dominaria. The one thing I really wanted to identify was that Garna, I believe the Blood Soaked, is nuts. She is insane. She can absolutely turn on some turn 1 kills. So I'm just going to do this right here. We're going to get started on this draft. I'll just talk you through my pick selection as well. Alrighty, here we go. Garna. Ugh, no Garna. Okay, so we have got a Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp. His ability isn't super relevant. He's kind of just a 5/6 flyer. Slin Voda, an 8/8 that returns creatures to hand. This would be great if people had to pay for their mana cost, but in this game it's basically an 8/8. Also lets you recycle some of your own enter the battlefield abilities. Chainer's Torment is fine. This is just a dumb creature. Funny enough, because of how this format is set up, I think the actual best card here is probably going to be Divination, just because you want to get to the cards that in your deck that are worth playing. You want to have, like, if you have a Divination, basically draw 2 cards, no cost. So we're going to go with Divination for now, and we're going to hope that we pick up a Garna somewhere later on. Pack 2. Alrighty, we have, let's see, nope. Looks like the cards here that I'm most interested in here are Slimefoot, On Sarah's Wings, and Opt. So On Sarah's Wings I've seen do some good work. A lot of times if you're playing a fair game, this kind of lets you get pretty far ahead. Slimefoot is great. I think that basically makes it so your opponents feel super awkward about attacking and blocking. It lets you do something with your 5 mana turn each turn, so I kind of like him. So here I'm probably looking at like Slimefoot or Opt. It's hard to say right now. I could probably get other abilities like this. I do want to just focus on the card draw for now, so let's go with an Opt. Memorial to War. Thran Temporal Gateway, also a huge whiff. So there's actually 3 cards in this pack that are interesting to me. One is Divination, Soul Salvage, and Keldon Overseer. Because everyone's just playing stupid huge bombs, Keldon Overseer is great. Oftentimes your opponent's relying on having like a big blocker back, and Keldon Overseer lets you take their best creature and attack them with it. Soul Salvage is a wonderful engine with like Homerid. I think it's Homerid Overseer is his name. It's a 4 mana 3/3, puts 3 cards in your bin. Also the Windgrace Rider as well. So I'm thinking Soul Salvage or Divination. Divination's probably our best bet here. Keldon Overseer is something I'd want to pick up a little bit later in the pack. It's a good effect, but I don't think it's better than just drawing 2 cards. Oh, here we go. So we've got 2 cards here that are sticking out for me. Urgoros, the empty one, and Blink of an Eye. So I'm going to take Urgoros here. Blink of an Eye is great because it lets you recycle your own abilities or potentially remove one of your opponent's creatures mid-combat, and also drawing a card. But Urgoros, because everyone's got 3-card hands, a lot of times his ability, it reads whenever combat damage dealt to a player, they discard a card. If they don't, you draw a card. And because people have 3-card hands and it's no mana cost, unless they're playing counter spells, this is almost just always draw a card. So I'm going to pick Urgoros here and not be unhappy about that. Okay, who we got? Oh, Dark Bargain. Never mind. We don't have to think about anything else. So in this format, Dark Bargain is absolute bomb. It's great. I mean, it's draw basically the 2 best cards in your top 3. And a lot of times if you're playing cards like Soul Salvage or you're playing Garna, you get to draw that extra card anyway. So Dark Bargain here is an easy one. I've seen Curator's Ward be fine, but it's not amazing. And some of these other ones, not super great in this format. Guardians of Koilos, honorable mention. Flame of Keld, sweet. Memorial of Genius, also good. And nothing else here that's particularly interesting in this format, so I'm going to take the Memorial to Genius. The reason is that card draw is extremely powerful in this format, and yeah, just drawing 2 cards is great, and I'm not going to go into more depth than that. What do we got here? Got an Opt that's interesting to me, and a Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. Demonic Vigor is also fine as like a last pick in this format because it lets you recycle some of your big creatures. I think we're probably going to go with Opt here. I do like to tend to be more on the combo side, so let's pick Opt. Okay, doke, here we go. So there's 3 cards here now that we're starting to get into the bottom half of the pack that are interesting to me. They are Thorn Elemental, Keldon Overseer, Partick Wanderer. So between Thorn Elemental and Partick Wanderer, Thorn Elemental's just better. I mean, for obvious reasons. The only time Partick Wanderer might be a better choice is with the Excavation Elephant, because sometimes you have a good opportunity to recycle a Partick Wanderer off an Excavation Elephant. Keldon Overseer is also good. I think from these three, I'm going to take the Keldon Overseer. The big creatures are pretty replaceable effect. Like, yeah, here we go. Here's Slinvoda came back. So, yeah, big stupid beaters are fairly easy to pick up in the format. You don't need to go hard to find them. Yeah, there we go. There's another one right there. It's Primordial Worm. So, yeah, you don't need to waste your early picks on that. Ooh, Soul Salvage came back. That feels nice. That feels pretty good. We got an Artificer's Assistant, Unwind, and Rat Colony. The funny thing is, because you're playing all these big stupid beaters, and we've got Urgoros, Slinvoda, we're probably going to be picking up a bunch of artifacts as well, like the Guardians of Koilos type stuff. Artificer's Assistant is really nice. I had a game where I had an Artificer's Assistant in play and 2 Guardians of Koilos. Just bounced them back and forth. Basically, got to scry to the perfect card every turn. It's not like great as a beater. It's a 1-mana 1/1, but it enables some pretty broken things in this format. So I'm going to take the Artificer's Assistant. I don't think I have enough legendary permanents for the Curator's Ward to make sense. Also, it requires there's a lot of setup for Curator's Ward. Warlord's Fury is just draw a card, which whenever you have cards that you're trying to get to, cycling is really important. So I'm just going to take the Warlord's Fury here. Blessing of Belzenlock, filler. Alrighty, what have we got, please? Alright, so what is sticking out to me here? Befuddle, Opt, Adelies, and I haven't seen this one before. Let me look at the top X cards of your library and put any number of land and or legendary permanent cards, converted mana cost X or less from one onto the battlefield. So there's not going to be any lands in our deck, and I'm fairly confident you can only pay X for 5. Most of our legendary guys are bigger, so this is kind of an unfortunate casualty of this particular format. Adelies seems fine, but again, you're not going to be playing a ton of art sorceries and instants. And really, like, if you're trying to go off and you draw this partway through, I mean, it's slightly less good. So I think we're probably looking at Befuddle or Opt here. I'm going to pick Opt just because, again, I'm like a big sucker for cycling through. And again, once you kind of have your combo set off, it's not so hard to just dump a bunch of fat creatures on the board and just kill them. So let's go with Opt. Alrighty. Great card in the format, great card in the set, but not good in this format. There's a Dark Bargain, so we're probably taking that. Blessed Light. Sometimes you want to have like 1 or 2 of this effect. There's like this one, and I think it's Eviscerate is also in here. So in the set, it's a 4-mana black sorcery. This one's better. There's a few creatures, like for example, if your opponent has a Garna, you really are looking for a Blessed Light so they don't start looping it on you. There's another Slimefoot. None of the rest of these cards are as exciting to me as this Dark Bargain, so we're just going to slam Dark Bargain. Okay. Let us have a look. Okay, so what have we got here? Looks like we might be just taking a creature here. Mending of Dominaria. Put the top 2 cards of your library in your graveyard, and then turn a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so this is actually pretty sweet. I think this is one of those things where in the format it's great. I mean, you play this on turn 1, and it's if you have a creature in your top 2, you're just putting it straight into play. The third part of the ability isn't super relevant, but if we get some Guardians of Koilos, we could bounce this and get some really good value out of it. If we combine any other mill with it, this becomes nuts. So I'm probably going to take this. Notable mentions, not really anything. If this was in the pack, I'd probably take Radiating Lightning, but I wouldn't be happy about it. Come on, we're looking for some mill. And, oh, there's a Guardians of Koilos. Oh, G2 Chronicler. Okay, never mind. So I'm going to have a quick look over these. Other ones that are interesting are Thallid Soothsayer. This one is fine. You can activate its ability twice a turn, presuming you have nothing else that you're doing. None of the rest of the stuff is particularly exciting. Guardians is great because lets you recycle some powerful Enter the Battlefield effects from some of your legend characters. But G2 Chronicler lets you buy back like a Dark Bargain or a Divination, so that's just like extreme value. It's just a 1/3, but you know, sometimes the body is relevant. Chainer's Torment, Primordial Worm, Drudge Sentinel. These are the ones that are sticking out to me. Drudge Sentinel's fine, just because like everyone's playing gigantic beaters, so just having like an unlimited blocker is great. Chainer's Torment is fine. Again, like the third round of the ability is great. And Primordial Worm, like I was kind of saying earlier, it's not too hard to get that effect. It's pretty replaceable. So I'm going to take Chainer's Torment here. If this wasn't in the pack, it would be kind of a toss-up between Primordial and Drudge Sentinel. I'd probably take the Drudge Sentinel just because I don't have that sort of effect yet. What have we got here? So Lingering Phantom is great whenever you're trying to do the mill sort of thing. Obviously, being like if you're playing a bunch of, you know, historic cards, it only costs 1 of your 5 mana per turn to return it to your hand, so it's pretty fair. And like it lets you trade with a lot of the big creatures in this format, like the Snapping Turtle, so the 6 mana, sorry, the 4/5, sorry, Hexproof Blue Turtle, the 6 mana 5/5 guy with Death Touch. So I'm probably going to take that. I'm just going to quickly read this. Haven't seen this before. First damage deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. Second round is not super relevant. And neither is the third one. So we're going to pass on First Eruption. We're going to take Lingering Phantom. Memorial to Unity. This gets a kind of an honorary mention. What do we got here? Okay, Thorn Elemental probably is what we're taking here. Yeah, this is what I was saying. You don't need to prioritize taking big, dumb creatures. Thorn Elemental is fine. Okie doke. Let us have a look. Partic Wanderer is probably going to be our best bet here. 6 mana 5/5 with Trample. Again, we're just not paying for it. It's fine. And if we pick up an Excavation Elephant, we're in good shape. Befuddle. Yeah, it is going to be Befuddle. There's nothing else here particularly interesting. You're not going to have a ton of artifacts in play that aren't just creatures. Lava Runner. Standard All-Star, not so great in Limited. Run Amok is reasonable. Corrosive Ooze, Divest. I mean, you're not spending a whole bunch of time. Like, generally speaking, artifact equipment isn't great in this format because, again, you only have 5 mana each turn to activate abilities, and I haven't seen a whole ton of successful equipment strategies, even with very powerful artifacts that are available. So I'm going to take Befuddle here because it'll help us cycle to our other more powerful cards. Drudge Sentinel. Okay, well, there's an argument for Fiery Intervention, but 1-for-1 removal isn't super great in this format. You know, your opponent, if they just go off on Dark Bargains and, you know, Weight of Memories, you know, that type of stuff, you're in terrible shape, so we're just going to go Drudge Sentinel. Ooh, nothing particularly good here. I like Run Amok. I think we can maybe surprise people with it. It's not great. Like, instants and sorceries aren't really where you want to be unless you're cycling to draw cards. If there was even a Warlord's Fury, I would take it over Run Amok, but yeah, let's go with that. It's nice to have it in hand. Rampaging Cyclops. I'm just going to put it in the board for now, and it ends up in the deck. It ends up in the deck. Another Primordial one. Great. Arbor Armament. Creature gains reach until the end of the turn. Sideboard. We'll see if it's worth playing later. So what do we have here? We have a Final Parting, one of the best cards in this particular format, especially if you can pick up any Garna, period. Garna is amazing with this. You pick 2 creatures, one of them's Garna, you put Garna in your hand, you put the Garna into play, you get both creatures. It searches up your Garna. I mean, I cannot say enough good things about Garna. So let's have a look. Nope, not super useful in this format. No, nope. Honorable mention. Yeah, probably just Guardians and Opt. So we're going to take Final Parting here. Where's the Dark Bargain? And, Adventurous Impulse. We hadn't seen one yet in this format because I think basically you use previous statistics from other people having played the game to decide the pick orders, because you're not drafting against players, you're drafting against the computer. And Adventurous Impulse is absolutely amazing in this format. Obviously, you've got a ton of big creatures. Adventurous Impulse lets you just search and put into play. So I'm going to take the Dark Bargain here, but Grun the Lonely King is awesome. He's like a fine version of one of these beaters, and he's also legendary. If you have, I don't know, Cabal Evangel or whatever happens to be the... No, not Cabal Evangel. The 4 mana 4/2/1. We're going to take Dark Bargain here because you want to chain this type of effect. Chainer's Torment and a Gitu Chronicler and a Keldon Overseer. So yeah, I'm just going to take Gitu Chronicler. Chaining Gitu Chroniclers into Divinations or Dark Bargains and just cycling through your whole deck extremely quickly is a great strategy. So let's go with Gitu Chronicler. There's another Urgoros. Memorial to Genius, Soul Salvage, Adventurous, Impulse. So this one we're spoiled for choice. I'm probably going to take the Memorial to Genius. I think that is like a very good effect, and just hope that like either Soul Salvage or Adventurous Impulse comes back. Probably not going to see Urgaros, the empty one. Let me just have a quick check on my creature count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But these ones they're not really for killing. Yeah, I'm going to take Memorial to Genius here, and just, if I get an Adventurous Impulse, Soul Salvage, or Urgaros back, I'll be pretty happy. If I end up with just like a Primordial Worm or something, that's also fine. So, Memorial to Genius. Here we go. Another Final Parting late. That's a bit of a gift. That's good. Divination. Nice. There's like also an argument for Windgrace Acolyte. We're starting to get to the point where like we want something like a Soul Salvage. We didn't get a Garna this draft, it doesn't look like, so Soul Salvage is going to be pretty important. Divination's just 2 cards though, so let's go. There you go. Excavation Elephant just in time. So the 3 cards here, they're Yargle, Excavation Elephant, and Coldwater Snapper. That's what he was called, Coldwater Snapper. So, I accidentally almost clicked there. We're going to take the Excavation Elephant. We only have the Partick Wanderer, so this lets us set up for example, like a Final Parting, getting Excavation Elephant, Partick Wanderer, throw the Wanderer in the bin, play the Excavation Elephant with Kicker, and then go straight into Partick Wanderer. Yargle's great though. I mean, a 5-mana 9th, like a 9/3 that's legendary is great. Like sometimes you just Blessing of Bells and Lock. They're planning to race, and now all of a sudden you're like up 11. Coldwater Snapper's fine. He's kind of in the same category as like Primordial Worm in my opinion. Just a beater that's hard to remove. It was the toss-up. It's Yargle or Excavation Elephant. Dark Bargain. We don't really have the 4-mana 3/3 that puts a bunch of creatures in the bin. Yeah, you know what? It might actually just be better to take Yargle here. Just up our creature count and play some more stupid beaters. So, Excavation Elephant. There's another Partick Wanderer, immediately punished, but also a Keldon Overseer. Yeah, everybody's playing stupid creatures. Keldon Overseer is better here. If we could take an Excavation Elephant, we probably would have taken Partick Wanderer. Cabal Paladin, Opt, Guardians of Koilos. I like Guardians of Koilos. It'll let us do some nasty stuff with like Mending of Dominaria, and yeah, nothing, not else a whole bunch to say there. I mean, if we had a Garna, it would let you rebuy a Garna if you only had the one in your deck. So let's go with Guardians. Adventurous Impulse, sweet. Chainer's Torment, Artificer's Assistant, Frenzied Rage. Chainer's Torment, I think, is probably going to be our best bet here. We already have one of this guy. I don't want to overload on that particular effect. Unwind is fine, but not amazing. Chainer's Torment. Yeah, I mean, just rebuying this and stuff, and sometimes it lets you mess around a little bit with the math, the race math. Soul Salvage came back. Ooh, feeling nice. So here we have 2 cards. Demonic Vigor is probably our best choice here. And Orcish Vandal. Sacrifice an artifact. Orcish Vandal deals 2 damage. So that's going in our board. Alrighty, so we're at 39. We need to pick 1 card from here. Probably just going to be Rampaging Cyclops. I think Rampaging Cyclops is fine. I mean, it's kind of annoying. It's a 2/4 when it's attacking. If it gets blocked, I'm willing to live with this. So here we go. Rampaging Cyclops. Here's what our deck kind of looks like. And I'll see you guys in just a second when we get started with round 1.